In 1 year, I made over $750,000. But the crazy thing about it, the years before, the most that I ever made is around $75,000. And the thing that I know you might be asking yourself is, how did I go from making around $75,000 to making $750,000 in 1 year? Like, how did that happen? Like, what took place? Like, what did I do for that change to happen? The truth is, and I'm being honest with you, the thing that I did was I stopped being scared. I stopped letting fear control me. I stopped letting those thoughts that I had of the fear of failure, the fear of rejection. I let all of those things go, and I stopped being scared, and I did it anyways. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. Like, if you're the person who says that you want to be more, if you're the person that says that you want to do more in your life, you want to have more in your life, then this video is for you. And the thing that I really want you to ask yourself right now is, what is it that's really stopping you from moving forward? What is it that's really stopping you from living your best life? What is the thing that is holding you hostage from living and being all that you were created to be? Today, I want to talk about the biggest thing. And that thing, I'm being honest, that I see in most people, that I saw in myself, and that I even seen in myself even after I made all of that money, was fear. That's the thing that stops a lot of us from being all that we were meant to be. Fear. We're so scared. We're so scared of all the things that we think in our head that may happen if we go out and if we do the things that we desire to do. And so what I want to encourage you today is to really sit down with yourself. And I want you to ask yourself, what is it that I'm scared of? What is it that I'm scared of that's not allowing me to do the thing that I want to do, to be the person that I want to be, and to live the life that I want to live, right? Ask yourself that question, because believe it or not, for you to go to the other side of where you are right now, for you to experience the life that you desire to live, it's going to come from you. Stop being scared, because fear paralyzes people and it holds them back from a lot of opportunities. Like, fear is the thing that is keeping you from success. Fear is the thing that is stopping you from being great. But the truth is, here's the thing about fear. When you are fearful, the thing about it is, it stops you from moving forward. The thing about fear is it stops you from taking action. It stops you from being successful because your actions don't match your words. That's the thing about fear. Your actions don't match your words. You say that you want to be great. You say that you want more in life. You say that you want to experience more. You say that you want to live life in abundance. But because you fear, your actions don't match your words because you are scared. And I know how that feels because I was in that place before. I remember for 5 years, I was working at a job that I did not want to work. But not only working at a job that I didn't want to work, I was working a job and I was working a manual labor job. And I was tired every single day. Every single week, I was working hours on hours. I started off working 110 hours a week. Then I went down to about 80 hours a week. Then I went down to about 60 hours a week for a couple of weeks. But then I had to go right back up because I had bills that I had to pay. I had a wife that I had to take care of. I had kids that I had to take care of. I had medical bills and credit card bills and car notes and food and groceries and gas. It was so many bills that I had to take care of that I was scared to leave that place. I was scared to leave my job and to do the thing that I wanted to do because my excuse and my fear was, I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know if my family is going to be taken care of if I quit my job and do what I want to do. And what I wanted to do was be an entrepreneur. I wanted to be an entrepreneur that controlled my time. I wanted to be an entrepreneur that had freedom to be able to do what I wanted to do, when I wanted to do it, and how I wanted to do it. And the reason why I wanted to be an entrepreneur was because that was better for my family. You see, I was working night and day, so I was having struggles within my marriage. Why? Because I was never present. I was having struggles with my family dynamic because daddy was never home. When I was home, I would sleep. Then when I would wake up, I would go back to work. And that's how my life was for consecutive of 5 years of daddy always working, daddy never being available, husband never being available because I was working so much because I had bills to pay. But I was scared to step out on faith. I was scared to be an entrepreneur because of fear. Because of fear. And that's the thing. You can't let fear control your decisions. You have to move anyways. And that's what I've learned. That's what I learned back then. You see, I was scared for 5 years to step out into what I truly knew that I was designed to step out into. But the thing about it is, y'all, when I stepped out on faith, when I stepped out on fear as well, because I was scared. I didn't know how things was going to work. When I quit my job and I left $75,000 a year, I didn't know how things was going to be. And the thing that I learned is fear is just an emotion. Fear is not real. Fear is not real. And you know, the definition of fear is an unpleasant emotion that's caused by belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat. And what I've learned about fear, and that's the definition that they gave on Google. But fear is just a belief. Fear starts in your mind. It's not always real. It's what you believe could happen in the future. It's what you believe could take place. It's what you believe that might happen if you do this. That's what fear is. Fear is not fact. It's just a feeling. And one thing about feelings can lie. So I want you to ask yourself, while you're in the place that you're in right now, are you letting fear control you? Are you letting this feeling of fear stop you from being great? Are you letting this feeling of fear stop you from moving into the direction that you know with all of your heart, that you believe within your heart that you should be moving into? Are you letting fear stop you from living the life that you desire to live? But the thing that I know about fear is it's all kinds of fear. And as I go through this list of fears, what I want you to do is I want you to really hear me, and I want you to write these down, and I want you to ask yourself, is this the kind of fear that you're experiencing? And the reason why I want you to write it down is because there is power with knowing what fear is controlling you. There is power with knowing what fear is controlling your life, what fear is stopping you from being all that you were meant to be. The first one is the fear of failure. Are you scared to fail? Are you scared of failing? And the question that you have to ask yourself, if you are, the question that you have to ask yourself is, why do I think that I will fail? Why do I think that it won't work? And it's something that I've heard Alex Hormozy say when it comes to fear of failure. He said he said something along the lines of the fear, like being scared to fail. Here's how you should think. Instead of thinking, what if it don't work? Instead of thinking, what if I fail? Start to think, what if it works? What if I actually make it? What if I actually accomplish the thing that I desire to accomplish? He said you should work with that kind of mindset. You should have those kind of feelings instead of, what if it don't work? What if I fail? Start training your mind and start speaking different if you're the person that fears failure. The next kind of fear is the fear of starting. The fear of starting. Like, ask yourself, are you scared to start? And I know that these fears that we have, I'm being honest, I had them and I still have them too. Like, even just doing this video, even just starting my YouTube channel, even just starting to make motivational, inspirational, and encouraging videos, I was scared to start. Even with me starting my career and starting my business with being a motivational speaker and being a professional speaker, I was scared to start. And if I'll be honest with you, I'm still scared to start, right? I'm still scared because of some of the thoughts that come in my head of, what if I'm not good enough? Like, what if I'm just not ready yet? And so one of the things that I did, even within those 5 years before I went into entrepreneurship, I kept on trying to prepare, watching videos, reading books, watching videos, reading books, listening to podcasts, searching things up on the internet. Like, I constantly was just planning and planning and planning and planning and planning because I felt like I wasn't ready. But the thing about it, I've learned that you have to start where you are. You have to start exactly where you are and stop being afraid to start. One of the best quotes that I love was by Dwayne Johnson, which is The Rock. He said, instead of saying one day, today needs to be the day that you say day one. He said, instead of one day, which is saying, one day I'm going to start, instead of saying that, say today is going to be day one. And when I heard him say that, that's the approach that I've been taking to a lot of things in my life. That's the approach that I've been taking because I see that, man, a lot of us, we procrastinate and we wait and we wait and we wait. And we always say one day, we say next year, we say next month, we say after this, after that. But the truth is, if you start right now, this could be the very moment that your life change. If you start today, instead of saying tomorrow, instead of saying one day I'm going to start, if you choose to start today, this may be the day that your life changes. And another one of the fears that's on my list is the fear of being judged. And I know, because this is one of the ones that I struggled with. The fear of being judged. Like, what are they going to think about me? What are my friends going to think about me? What is my family going to think about me? What are the people going to think about me that don't even know me? And the truth is, I know that is scary because some of the times we're not even comfortable within ourselves. Some of the times we have insecurity, and I know this because I dealt with insecurity in the past. I dealt with being scared of what people was going to think about me. But see, my root of the fear of being judged, where that came from, it came from my childhood because I was insecure as a child. I was insecure as a little boy. Why was I insecure? Because I was really scared and I was embarrassed as a child because of what my family did for a living, because of what I did after school and in the summertime, going in trash cans in Los Angeles to get plastic bottles, to get glass bottles, and to get cans to recycle. Like, I was scared. I didn't want nobody to know that I was digging in the trash cans, that I was going in these dumpsters as a child. And even as I became older, I was still scared. And I was scared because even when I moved to Memphis, instead of going in the trash can for for the plastic bottles and stuff, we started collecting cardboard to make money to provide for me and my brothers. We would collect cardboard from the trash on the side of the trash can behind these stores who have pallets of cardboard. And I was scared, because I was so embarrassed of doing that kind of work. I was also embarrassed of eating food out the trash. I didn't want people to know that I was eating food out the trash. And so as a little boy, those insecurities of me just not wanting people to know what my real life was, that I took that with me even when I got older. And I was scared of what people was going to think. I wanted people to like me. I didn't want people to talk about me. I didn't want people to call me different names or, to call me things like, saying, oh, look at him. He think he's doing something. I was scared. But the truth is, you have to let that go if you want to be more in life. If you want to have more in life, if you want to do more in life, you have to let the fear of being judged. You have to let that go. Because the truth is, who cares what they think? And the reason why I say that is my wife, she always said this to me, because I used to be scared of what people thought a lot. And she always would say, Josh, they don't matter because they're not going to be in your life. Like, these people don't even know you. And even the people that know you, if they are going to judge you, they don't have to be in your life. And I think about it. All my years in elementary school and middle school and high school, when I was digging in the trash can, eating food out the trash can, living in homes with rats and roaches, I realized as an adult, I don't even talk to nobody from high school, middle school, and elementary school. Like, I'm not even associated with a lot of people from elementary, middle school, and high school. And so the thing about it is, what my wife always was telling me was true. And it's the same for you. these people won't even be in your life for long, especially if they're the ones that's judging you. And another fear is the fear of losing, the fear of rejection. Like, being rejected. If I put myself out there and people don't like what I put out there, if I put myself out there and people don't like me, I know that hurts. I know that does not feel good when you're trying, for a new opportunity, when you're trying to be the person that you want to be, when you start your business, but nobody wants what you have. Nobody wants to listen to what you have to say. Nobody wants to see what you have to offer. But I'm just letting you know, you have to let that fear go. You have to let the fear of rejection go. Stop being scared of being rejected. And here's what I'm going to say. I say that because even when I think of just all these different stories of entrepreneurs, all these different stories of people who are successful, you think of Michael Jordan. He was rejected. You can think of the owner of KFC, and I just forgot, Colonel Sanders. When you think about his story, when you think about Einstein, when you think about just all these leaders and successful people, they were rejected. But they didn't let rejection stop them. And you see the success that they have. And so just look at that. Look at all the people who've been rejected, but still succeed. And one last fear that I want to talk about, because it's so many fears. And let me just say them, like, you think about this. Are you struggling with the fear of success? Believing that you can't maintain it or that you are not ready to be successful. Maybe you're struggling with the fear of the unknown, the fear of change, the fear of letting people down, the fear of not being enough, the fear of what other people would think, the fear of leaving your comfort or security, fear of being alone, fear of making the wrong decisions, fear of looking stupid or being unqualified, fear of responsibility or pressure once things goes right. Those are some of the fears that I want you to think about and ask yourself, am I allowing these fears to stop me from being more? Am I allowing these fears to stop me from being all that I know that I can be? And the last fear that I wanted to talk about was the fear of being alone. And I really think that this fear is important because one thing that I've experienced in my life is that when it comes to you being more, doing more, and having more, sometimes you're going to be alone. Sometimes the journey from where you are to where you want to be is going to be a journey of loneliness. And here's how I know. I know it's going to be a season of loneliness because the truth is, when you start, it's not going to be many people giving you a hand clap. It's not going to be many people cheering you on and supporting you. It's not going to be many people that likes what you have to offer. But the thing about it, you have to be the one to believe. You have to be the one that believes in what you're doing, even when no one else is around, even when no one else believes. You have to be the one to applaud yourself. You have to be the one that believes. So stop being afraid to do it alone. Stop being afraid, even if you are the only person that I know, because this was big for me too. When I became the first entrepreneur in my family that had a successful business that was making the most amount of money, it was kind of scary because I felt alone. I was the first person in my family that's going out and stepping out to be a business owner, quitting their 9 to 5 to do the thing that he wanted to do. I was the first person. And it's kind of scary because I feel alone, because it's just me all by myself. And at that point, I didn't have mentors. I didn't have coaches. It was just me. It was just me having the dream to be the entrepreneur, to own the business, to make as much money as I can make, to be more, to be who I wanted to be, to not be controlled by somebody else. And it was scary because in my circle, I was the only person. In my circle, I was the only one that was bold enough to step out of their job, not to go to another job, but to step out on their job to chase their dreams. But then along the way, one thing that I saw even about me stepping up and being the first person in my group and out of the people that I know, I saw that I was a trailblazer. My other brothers and my other sisters, they was encouraged. Other people around me that I work with, they was encouraged. Like, man, if Josh could do it, I know that I can do it. If Josh can quit his job and be successful, I know that I can do it. Because for me, right, I had a wife. I had I had 2 kids at the time, one with special needs. And if he could do it, they believed that they could do it. And so I want to encourage you, if you have to do it alone, do it alone, because you're going to be the inspiration that someone else needed. And one thing that I want to talk to you guys about, I want to talk to you guys about what's on the other side of fear. Because everything that you want is on the other side of what you're scared of. The opportunities that you want, the relationships that you want, the purpose that you want, they're all waiting beyond what you're scared to face. The door to your next level is locked by fear, but courage is the key that unlocks the door. Courage is the key that moves you forward. So let go of all of these fears. Let go of the fear of rejection, the fear of not being enough, the fear of not being ready. Let go of all these fears, because I'm telling you the truth. If you want to have more in life, it's on the opposite of fear. It's on the opposite of what you're scared of. It's on the other side of you letting go all of your fears and saying, I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to start right now, regardless of where I am, regardless of what is going on in my life. I'm going to start right now. And one thing that I want to say, even with this, is don't settle for less. Because fear sometimes will cause us to move a little bit higher, but not really move into the area that's going to take us to the next level of our life. And what do I mean by that? For some of you, you want to own your own business. You want to be a full-time entrepreneur. You want to be a content creator. You want to do something that has the potential to make you a lot of money. You have the potential. You want to do something that has the potential to make you millions. But yet, you're stuck on your 9 to 5. And what you do is you say, okay, I may be scared to leave this job, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this job and go to another job, right? That's what I mean by settling for less. Like, you don't need to leave this job to go to another job. No, leave this job to step out, to do the thing that you desire to do, to be that content creator, to be that business owner, to start your own business, whatever it is, to start your own brand, to start your own clothing line, whatever it may be. Don't settle for less because of fear. Like, you might be like, I know my goal that I want in life is all the way up here, but you know what? I'm not going to try to reach that. I'm just going to try to reach halfway. Like, if I could just make it halfway, I know that that's a little bit better, so I'm gonna feel good. But what that does is it stops your growth. What that does, it really stops you from reaching your full potential, because you're settling for less, because you're scared of going all in. You're scared of, burning all of the boats. And what do I mean by burning all the boats? Well, I read this story and I forgot the names and all of that, but it was an army who went out for war. And they landed up on the land with their boats. And you might know the story, but they landed on the land with their boats. And the captain, he told them to burn all the boats. What was the importance of him telling them to burn all the boats? Well, he told them to burn all the boats because the mentality that he wanted to instill with them is either we win or we die. And I'm just being honest. That's the kind of mentality that I have right now. And that's the kind of mentality that I want you to have, to burn the bridges, burn the boats in your life. Stop leaving. You have a plan A and not a plan B. And what do I mean by that? When you are so focused, when you have your plan and you say, I'm going to achieve this, I'm going to do this thing, no matter what it takes, I'm not going to quit. When you burn your boats, when you burn the bridges, when you break the bridges, what that does is it gives you the mentality that either I'm going to make it or I'm going to die. And I'm just going to be real with you. When you have that burning desire, when you have that passion on the inside of you that says, I'm only going to win or I'm going to die, you will do everything in your power. You will do everything that you can to win, because that's how the mind works. And I know because I've been there and I've done that. And I'm even here right now to where I've burned the bridges. I burned the boats in my life. And I'm being the person that I said that I'm going to be. I'm going after the thing that I want to go after because I know that it's either I'm going to make it or I'm going to die. And it's not that I'm going to die, but I even been through some stuff in my life to where I've been to a very low place in life. I hit my rock bottom. And the thing about it, I'm not scared of rock bottom anymore. I'm not scared. Like, I'm not scared. I'm going to tell you a little bit of my rock bottom. My rock bottom is having my credit so trash that I can't do anything. My rock bottom is not making enough money to take care of my family, to take care of myself, having eviction notices, having my utilities and water and stuff, having threats to cut those off because I'm behind. My rock bottom is being behind on every bill except my life insurance bill for more than 90 days. That's my rock bottom, not being able to provide Pampers for my children so they can be changed, right? My rock bottom is being insecure. My rock bottom is not having hope. My rock bottom is not believing in myself. And I've been there and I've done that. Having no purpose, not knowing how I'm going to get out of this $250,000+ of debt, not knowing how I'm going to get my finances on track, feeling like I'm unworthy, feeling like there's no purpose in me, feeling like I just messed up so bad beyond repair. That's a portion of my rock bottom. That's a portion, failing myself, failing my kids, failing my wife. That's my rock bottom. And I'm not scared of it anymore because I've been there. And I see that if I made it through my worst moment in life, I believe that I can make it through anything. And so as I close, you guys, what I want to leave you guys with and what I want you to remember is that regardless of the fear that you have, I want you to do it anyway. Because courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward despite it. Regardless if you have fear, when you take courage, you are moving anyways. You can't let fear stop you from becoming who you were created to be. And I want to encourage you to stop being scared and just start being bold, because your next level is waiting. Your life is waiting on you. The person that you desire to be, he or she is waiting for you. And I want to leave you with this. And this is one thing that has changed my life. Stop waiting to be who you want to be in the future and be the person that you want to be in the future. Be that person now. Whoever you want to be in the future, be that person now. Do it scared, do it anyway. And instead of saying one day, say today is the day.